Welcome to the Full-Time FBA Show. In each episode, it's our goal to help you turn part-time hours into a full-time income selling almost anything on Amazon. And now, your hosts of the show, Stephen and Rebecca Smotherman.
Hello there and welcome to this episode of the Full-Time FBA Show. We are on episode 315 and today we're talking about how to make every minute of Q4 sourcing count. We are well into October now. We are going to talk today about how we discover the simple shift that keeps your cart full of winners instead of wasted hours. And with me to talk about this is Stephen. How's your Q4 sourcing going, Stephen?
I mean, it's going pretty good. I feel like I want to add the sound effect of like the 60 minutes time
the clock
ticking away, but I don't want to cause too much stress for anyone listening.
It is a stressful ticking sound.
It is.
But Q4 is ticking away as we speak.
It is. So let's get to the episode today of the Full-Time FBA Show.
Stephen, what would you say is the biggest frustration of Q4 for many Amazon sellers? Is it the crowded stores or the increased competition for the buy box by other sellers? What would you say it is?
I mean, those are big ones, but I don't think that those are the biggest. I would say it's probably the missed opportunities, the time that just gets wasted sourcing by just wandering the aisles, scanning hundreds of items and walking away with nothing worth really sending to Amazon. And so there's so much potential for amazing sales and profits, but then the opportunities seem to get squandered because you're not at the right place looking for the right inventory.
Yeah, I agree. And we see it over and over again every year, and it leads to burnout. You've got an empty cart yet again, and you start questioning whether this whole Q4 gold rush on Amazon is even real. So today we're going to break down the number one reason sellers are wasting time in Q4, leading to that burnout, and how you can avoid it. And if you want the shortcut, we've got you covered with our Q4 sourcing hotspots list. You can check it out at fulltimefba.com/momentum, and we'll have more details on it at the end of the episode.
So the main problem we're going to cover in today's episode is that it can be very tempting to waste time during your Q4 sourcing, and not for the usual reasons that we usually say in this podcast episode about wasting time.
I know. I think people are probably tired of hearing from business coaches that they just need to stop watching Netflix and work harder.
Right. I mean, we've said it ourselves in the past, and it's true. We could all stand to spend a little less time numbing out with TV watching, but just saying turn off the TV and work harder, I mean, it sounds like an easy solution, but it's a complicated problem. And ultimately, it doesn't solve the problem wasting time in your business.
Yeah, what we're talking about instead in this episode is different. We titled it How to Make Every Minute of Q4 Sourcing Count because we want to give you the positive solution to your sourcing problem, not just give you a negative of stop doing this. So the problem of wasting time comes down to wandering stores with no plan, looking up and down the aisles and wondering where to start, just being haphazard in your approach and seeing what sticks. Or if you do OA sourcing, you're just going to random websites and scrolling with the hopes that something jumps out at you. You're clicking on items and crossing your fingers that something will match up with the Amazon catalog and be profitable. And honestly, this approach is exhausting. There's no goal in mind. There's no system. It's all fueled by hope and by lucky vibes, which is not a great way to operate a business.
Yeah, and we see this happen all the time. And honestly, I think that if you keep at this approach long enough, yeah, you're going to find some inventory. But the problem is that it's exhausting. And so many people quit right before they get to the point of actually finding something profitable. Imagine it this way. Let's take a peek at the day in the life of a seller named George. We're going to go with George. He wakes up and realizes today that, well, maybe he should go do some Q4 sourcing right now. So he heads out to a nearby shopping center with a few stores in close range. He picks one of those that has a parking lot that looks busy. He just is kind of going off the vibes of his choice. And he gets inside one of the stores and realizes he doesn't have the right app downloaded on his phone. He spends a few minutes messing around with his phone to get the right app and figuring out his login information. And he grabs a cart and he just kind of mills around until he finds an aisle that looks good. I mean, as good as any other place. He spends time picking stuff up here and there, just items at eye level, just randomly scanning, not anything within a few minutes, not finding anything. And he just goes a couple aisles over and he starts the same thing again. No method, no system, just kind of wherever his heart leads. And honestly, it doesn't take long to see that his heart really isn't in it. And so he's not really finding anything good.
I'll be honest, this has been me at times, and I summarize it this way. I'm making myself feel busy so that I can tell myself I work today, but I'm not really doing anything profitable, and ultimately I'm just wasting time.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of FBA business owners, we do this all at one point or another.
Yeah, we do. And there's a few reasons why this wasting of time happens. For some people, they believe the myth that all you need to do is scan more. Just scan a bunch and you'll find profitable inventory. It's everywhere around you in the stores. And those statements are partial truths, but they're missing a key component that you need to know what you're looking for, and you need to be systematic in your process of looking for inventory. There's also the added component of decision fatigue when it comes to wasting time. You get overwhelmed with all the data points, you don't know which ones are the most important, and it just gets to that point where every product is a maybe, and you just can't buckle down and decide whether or not to pull the trigger on a purchase. This truly is exhausting for your brain, and you end up just frittering away time rather than doing any type of productive sourcing.
Yeah, and what happens a lot of times is you end up talking yourself out of almost every single item and not having any confidence in your sourcing, and that's exhausting. Another reason Amazon sellers waste time is that they just don't know how important it is to implement a process or where to even begin looking. Like with George with the story earlier, he was just flying by the seat of his pants, taking action on whims rather than making a plan earlier in the morning of his sourcing trip, and rather than getting things planned ahead, getting his phone set up and ready to go, mapping out the area, looking at what sales are going on, what coupons might be available. He didn't even know what aisle to start on. He didn't start his way at the top and go to the bottom, go right to left. He just randomly picked stuff up. And it was leaving so much up to chance. And he was just basically working twice as hard and is likely not to even get half the results as compared to someone who is really prepared.
And there's one more reason I think some sellers waste time sourcing like George was. They're wasting time as a method of procrastination because they're avoiding doing the hard work of building a sustainable business. It's an excuse. It's a way to feel busy but not really do anything. And then when you fail, you can just say, oh, Amazon FBA doesn't work, or RA is dead, rather than owning your own actions. It's when you find yourself making your spreadsheets look prettier rather than actually analyzing the data in them. On some level, you know that building a sourcing strategy and implementing it in the form of a solid system will take more work than just frittering around with random scans, and so you procrastinate the real work.
Yeah, I've heard for over 15 years that RA is dead.
Right.
And yet I still go out and find inventory. So back to George. What do you do about this problem?
Yeah, that's always the question, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, first thing you need to do is to decide what kind of problem that you are experiencing and what's causing you to waste time. You know, we've seen a couple different types of problems here in the story. One is that you don't know what to do or how to do it. And the other one is that you really don't want to do it.
Yeah, that's getting a little philosophical.
Yeah, but stick with me here. If your problem is that you don't know where to start your scanning or you don't know how to make good buying decisions, I mean, those things are learnable. You can learn that. You can learn some new skills as long as you're alive and kicking. And on the flip side, if your problem is that you seem to be wasting time because you're avoiding the hard work, then I think you really need to come back to the reason why you are wanting to build an Amazon business in the first place. Remind yourself of your why. Why are you sourcing items to sell on Amazon? Why do you want to grow your daily sales and your profits? Why did you do this and set up this business in the first place? Chances are you got into this business because you wanted financial freedom, or you wanted to build up an opportunity so that you can work from home, or you wanted the flexibility in your schedule to be able to be your own boss. I mean, whatever your why is, keep coming back to that. And whatever your main reason is, so that you can build up your business. What is your motivation? If you truly want to create these opportunities for yourself, isn't it worth it to learn how to build up your business on a more solid ground so that the right systems and strategies are in place so you can stop wasting time and start achieving your goals?
So we looked at George earlier. Now let's look at a motivated and focused seller named Gina. Gina wakes up on Monday morning and spends some time scheduling out her calendar for the week with sourcing, prepping and shipping, and admin tasks for her business. She stays informed about upcoming sales, and she plans a sourcing route accordingly. When she gets to a store, she knows exactly which aisle she's going to start on, but if she needs to pivot at some point during her sourcing trip, she does it. When she does online arbitrage sourcing, she methodically scans categories and websites on a regular basis so that she can keep tabs of new items and changes in the inventory and can find a great deal much easier. Gina has a plan. She has a system. She's motivated to meet her goals, and she never takes her eye off the prize of her goal of full-time income in her business so that she can reach financial freedom. It's hard work, and it's going to take a few years to get where she's headed, but she's making incremental progress, and she loves it.
Yeah, and if you're hearing about George and Gina and you're feeling a little bit jealous of Gina, it's understandable. And if you want to bridge the gap between people like George and becoming more like Gina, we have a place for you in Momentum FBA. Momentum FBA is our monthly membership for serious Amazon sellers who want to make daily sales and move toward their financial goals. We have weekly sessions designed to help you learn the skills and put into place the systems you need to build up your Amazon inventory and understand how to dominate the buy box and increase your sales and profits. And you can join us fulltimefba.com/momentum.
If you're listening to this episode the week it drops, the cart is open a few more days to sign up for Momentum FBA and get the bonus Q4 sourcing hotspots full list. This is a crazy awesome bonus we've put together for new members this Q4, where you'll get our full list of 10 stores and sections with the best sourcing opportunities this Q4. You can find out more about the membership and this time-sensitive bonus at fulltimefba.com/momentum. Thank you so much for joining us for this episode of the Full-Time FBA Show. As a reminder, you can find the show notes and any of the links that were mentioned in this episode at fulltimefba.com/315 because this is episode number 315.
Well, that's all the time we have for today for the Full-Time FBA Show, so we'll see you next week right here on the Full-Time FBA Show.
That's all for this episode of the Full-Time FBA Show. So head over to fulltimefba.com/podcast, where you'll find the show notes and links from this episode. While you're there, subscribe to our newsletter where you'll get several free downloads of our popular and helpful Amazon FBA resources. Now, take action on what you've learned today so you can find success at turning part-time hours into a full-time income with Amazon FBA.